How you doing, everybody, and welcome to the season-ending edition of Wilde's Mailbox here at ESPNMilwaukee.com and ESPNMadison.com. We are back at University of Phoenix Stadium, where you can hear the workers cleaning up and putting the finishing touches on tonight. They're doing a lot more than the Green Bay Packers defense did tonight, obviously, as the Packers lose 51-45, although astonishingly, on a defensive touchdown by the Arizona Cardinals and Carlos Dansby. I know there's a lot of disappointment out there. I got a lot of tweets and a lot of emails from a lot of you. We're going to try and cover those as quickly as we can here so you don't spend all night watching this video. The first thing, though, I have to talk about is the reaction to the officiating that everyone seems to have. A lot of disappointment and a lot of angry feelings about the fact that there wasn't a face mask penalty called on the game-winning touchdown play when Michael Adams comes in and dislodges the ball from Aaron Rodgers' hand. There's a photo apparently on NFL.com that depicts it. There's also the question about Charles Woodson and the collisions that he had on big plays with Larry Fitzgerald, where he gets knocked down and Fitzgerald makes the catch, including for touchdown. And then the play with Cullen Jenkins, where he's called for a personal foul penalty when he looked like he was being tackled by the blocker. And I know Homer feels differently about this, but I look at it and I think that just sounds like the loser's lament to me. You know, the Packers had every opportunity to win this game if their defense had come up with one stop. They come back from the 14-0 deficit. Aaron Rodgers comes back and has a magnificent game after the first play is a nightmare. Unfortunately, the last play is a nightmare too. So looking at this game, I think it's awfully hard to just blame the officiating, and I understand the frustration everyone has, but to me, officiating didn't decide this game. The Green Bay Packers' defensive failures decided this game, and the fact that they turned the ball over 3 times. I mean, this is a team that turned the ball over 16 times all year. They led the NFL and tied a franchise record with a plus 24 turnover differential. And today, they weren't that team. They turned it over 3 times. They only got 1 takeaway, and that's why they lose this game. A couple other things we need to address. There were some questions about the defensive game plan and whether Dom Capers blitzed enough. I think this is one of those things that people are going to talk about all offseason, because if you look at where the Packers' defensive weaknesses mostly were this season, they were against veteran quarterbacks who get rid of the ball quickly and negate the blitz. It was Brett Favre in 2 games against the Vikings, and it was Kurt Warner today. Kurt Warner throws for 5 touchdowns. He had 5 touchdowns and 4 incompletions. He didn't throw an interception. He didn't fumble the ball because, as you know, as we've talked about all week long, when Kurt Warner is under pressure in the pocket, he has a tendency to turn the ball over. The Packers didn't generate that pressure. He was only sacked once, and he's able to have a fantastic day, the kind of day that he's had in the playoffs a lot of times, and one of the reasons why he's looked at as a potential Hall of Fame quarterback. So one of the things that the Packers defense is going to have to get better at in the future as this 3-4 defense evolves, remember it was only in its first year, but one of the things it's going to have to show vast improvement on is getting after the quarterback when it's a quarterback who gets rid of the ball quickly against the blitz. And to me, that also plays right into conjunction with the coverage. They played a lot of zone coverage today, and they were able to find some big openings for big plays against the Packers today. The other thing I just wanted to touch on was Aaron Rodgers and the day that he had. You know, I think there was a lot of reaction early on. I know from the tweets that I was receiving that, you know, there wasn't a good feeling about Aaron Rodgers in his first playoff game. His first postseason pass is intercepted, but he battles back in a pretty impressive way. But again, these are the games that quarterbacks make their bones on. This is where you make your playoff and your pro football reputation. And Aaron Rodgers did not have the kind of day that he wanted to. He rallied his team. He put them in position to win the game. They win the coin toss. They've got the ball. And I think the play that probably will haunt him more than anything is the first play of the overtime, where he has the play-action pass and he goes deep to Greg Jennings. Jennings is open behind the defense, and he overthrows him by a couple of yards. I know that's one of the plays that Aaron Rodgers, as he said, he's going to be in bed tonight thinking about this game a lot. I think that's one play that's really going to get to him. So we're going to continue Wilde's Mailbox in the postseason here as the other teams go forward with their playoff runs and the Packers look forward to 2010. You can always submit your questions via email at jwilde@espnmilwaukee.com or jwilde@espnmadison.com, or you can do it via Twitter, which is where I got most of the questions today, because I'm still got a lot of stories to write. So thanks for joining us as we did this throughout the late season push and throughout the short playoff run. Hope you'll keep doing it. Be sure to tune in to Green and Gold Today every day, still from 10 to 11, at least for the foreseeable future. We may shorten it up a little bit when the full-fledged offseason gets here. But it'll be interesting to see where the Packers go from here, and I think this is a team that has the ability to have some pretty darn good years ahead of it. They've got a lot of talented players and a lot of young playmakers on this team, but a missed opportunity today. They come in as the hottest team in the NFC, having won 7 of their last 8, and now they're going home, and the Cardinals are headed to New Orleans on Saturday, where they'll take on the top-seeded Saints. So thanks again, and we'll see you back in Green Bay.